The Desert's Calm, a story from ancient Egypt. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the world slow down. You've just entered a realm where stories drift like soft whispers in the night, guiding you into peaceful dreams. The Egyptian sun hung low in the sky, its golden light stretching across the endless dunes like molten fire. Each grain of sand glowed beneath its touch, shifting in the warm breeze that hummed softly over the land. A lone figure moved across the desert, his robes flowing like the wings of a great bird. Menes, a young scribe of the temple, walked in quiet determination, his sandals leaving fleeting imprints upon the earth. The priests had sent him on a sacred journey, a quest to find the wisdom of the gods hidden somewhere in the vastness of the desert. The air was thick with the scent of sun-baked earth, and the only sound was the rhythmic whisper of the wind, as if the sands themselves murmured ancient secrets. As the sun dipped lower, the sky transformed into hues of amber and violet. The long journey had drained him, his limbs heavy, his eyes weary. Finding a gentle slope near an ancient dune, he knelt, his fingers sinking into the soft, warm sand. The desert's silence was not empty, it pulsed with something unseen, something eternal. A deep stillness settled over him, cradling him like an unseen presence. As his body relaxed, his eyes closed, and sleep gently claimed him. The world around him faded, and suddenly, he found himself standing beneath a sky not of this world. A golden light enveloped the horizon, casting long beams across an endless ocean of dunes. From above, a presence descended, a radiant figure, draped in shimmering fire, the form of Ra, the great sun god. The desert is not empty, Ra's voice echoed, low and ancient, vibrating through the very air. For within its silence lies the song of eternity. Menes felt the words sink into his very soul. He saw visions, the rise and fall of civilizations, the unbroken cycle of the sun, the endless journey of time itself. He understood then that the desert was more than mere sand, it was a living memory, a sacred scroll written by the gods. A warm breeze stirred, and his eyes fluttered open. Dawn had begun its slow ascent, painting the horizon with the first strokes of gold. The dream still clung to him, its message alive in his heart. He exhaled deeply, feeling a peace he had never known before. The gods had spoken, and he had listened. With quiet reverence, Menes rose to his feet, the weight of his purpose settling over him like a gentle embrace. His journey was far from over, but now, he walked not in solitude, but with the wisdom of Ra guiding his every step. And in the hush of the morning, the desert sang its silent, eternal song. The desert stretched endlessly under the silver glow of the moon, its sands cool beneath Menes' weary steps. The sky above shimmered with stars, scattered like crushed gemstones across an ocean of darkness. A soft wind carried the distant echoes of unseen creatures, perhaps the whispers of the gods themselves. Menes moved forward, though his body longed for rest. His journey had been long, and the solitude of the desert had begun to weigh upon his spirit. The golden warmth of Ra was gone now, replaced by the quiet mystery of the night. With each step, his exhaustion deepened, and for a fleeting moment, he feared he might be wandering in circles, forever lost within the endless dunes. Then, as if conjured by the gods, he saw it, a hidden oasis nestled between two towering dunes. The moonlight kissed the surface of a still, crystal-clear pool, its waters reflecting the heavens above. Tall palm trees swayed gently in the breeze, their fronds whispering in hushed tones, as if greeting the lone traveler. The scent of blooming lotus flowers lingered in the air, soothing and sweet. Menes approached cautiously, his heartbeat slowing as a sense of peace washed over him. Kneeling at the water's edge, he cupped his hands and brought the cool liquid to his lips. It tasted of purity, of something ancient and untainted. But as he gazed into the pool, the surface rippled, not from the wind, but as if touched by unseen hands. His vision blurred, his limbs grew heavy, and sleep embraced him like a gentle tide, pulling him into a dream. In the dream, a woman emerged from the water, her form glowing softly in the moonlight. She was dressed in flowing linen, her dark hair crowned with lotus flowers. Her eyes held the depth of the Nile, and when she spoke, her voice was like the whispering breeze that moved through the palm trees. "Those who seek wisdom must first learn to be still," she said, her words carrying the weight of eternity. "For the desert reveals its secrets only to those who listen." Menes tried to respond, but his voice was lost to the hush of the dream. The woman lifted her hand, and suddenly, the oasis stretched before him, endless and infinite, as if time itself had unraveled. He felt the deep stillness of the desert settle within him, no longer a vast emptiness, but a space filled with meaning, with unseen truths waiting to be heard. His eyes fluttered open. The oasis remained, its waters still, its palm trees swaying as before. And yet, something had changed. The dream had not faded, it lingered in the air, woven into the very fabric of reality. The woman's words echoed within him, quiet yet powerful. For the first time, Menes did not feel the need to move forward. He simply sat, listening to the soft rustling of the leaves, to the rhythm of the wind, to the unspoken secrets hidden within the silence. The desert was speaking. And at last, he was ready to listen. The desert night stretched endlessly, its vastness bathed in the soft glow of the stars. The air was cool and crisp, carrying the scent of ancient earth and the quiet hum of the world at rest. Menes lay on the smooth, cool sand, his gaze lifting to the heavens above. The sky was a canvas of endless night, adorned with countless stars, their gentle twinkle like scattered pearls resting on the dark fabric of the cosmos. Each star seemed to pulse with life, their light distant yet warm, as if they held the stories of the ages within them. In the stillness, Menes found himself lost in thought. His mind drifted back to the teachings of the temple, to the great god Thoth, the keeper of wisdom, knowledge, and the hidden truths of the universe. The scribe had always wondered how one could truly understand the mysteries of life. Was it through the written word? The sacred scrolls? Or was it through something deeper, something beyond comprehension? As the hours passed, a sense of peacefulness overtook him, and the gentle pull of sleep began to weigh upon his eyelids. His body sank further into the soft sand, and soon, the quiet rhythm of his breath guided him into a dream. In the dream, Menes found himself standing upon a shimmering path, stretching endlessly before him. The ground beneath his feet was made of light, soft and luminous, as though he walked along the very fabric of the sky. The stars above twinkled with greater clarity, each one brighter than before, as if they were guiding him forward. From the shadows of the night, a figure appeared. He was tall and regal, draped in a flowing robe of midnight blue, and his eyes shone with the deep, knowing gaze of the Nile itself. It was Thoth, the god of wisdom. His presence was both serene and powerful, as if he carried the weight of the entire universe in his being. True wisdom is like the stars, Thoth's voice echoed softly, yet it resonated through Mimi's very soul. You do not own them, but they guide you nonetheless. The words hung in the air, weighty with meaning. Minis felt the truth of them settle deep within him, like a seed planted in the fertile soil of his heart. The stars, he realized, were not to be grasped or controlled. They were guides, ever present, offering their light in the darkness. And in their quiet glow, they showed the way, even when the path ahead was unclear. As the dream faded and Mini's eyes fluttered open, the world around him seemed different. The stars still hung above, their glow soft and eternal. The desert was still vast and quiet, but now, Mini's understood. He was never truly alone. The stars, the wisdom of Thoth, and the ancient desert, they were all with him, guiding him along a path of light, even when he could not see the way. The wisdom of the stars filled his heart, and with a deep, contented breath, Minis closed his eyes once more, trusting that the stars would always be there, lighting the way ahead. The first light of dawn crept across the horizon, painting the desert in shades of gold and pink. The coolness of the night lingered in the air, but the warmth of the sun began to rise, casting its golden rays over the endless sea of sand. Mini sat upon a smooth, time-worn stone, his eyes gazing out across the vast expanse. He felt the weight of his journey in his bones, the long days of travel, the whispers of the gods in his dreams, and the wisdom he had discovered hidden in the stillness of the desert. The journey was drawing to a close. He had walked far, listened deeply, and sought the wisdom of Thoth, and the ancient desert itself. But there was one final lesson the desert had yet to reveal. With a slow, deliberate movement, Minis closed his eyes, allowing the soft desert breeze to caress his face. The world around him fell silent, the sounds of the desert fading into the background. His body relaxed, and in the calm, he felt as though he were part of the very earth beneath him, his breath in sync with the rhythm of the sands. In that moment, sleep came easily. And as Minis drifted into a final dream, the desert seemed to come alive around him. The winds shifted, carrying with them a gentle murmur, a whisper that swirled through the sands. At first, it was soft, like the rustling of leaves in a distant forest. But then the voices became clearer, rising from the very earth beneath him, as though the sands themselves were speaking. Time is but a river, the voices murmured, their tones deep and ancient, like the pulse of the earth itself. And we are its travelers. Minis felt the weight of these words settle within him. The desert, he realized, was not a barren wasteland, but a living memory, a river of time itself, flowing through the ages. The sands carried the voices of those who had walked before, their stories and wisdom woven into the very fabric of the land. In the silence of the desert, there was more than just emptiness, there was history, there was knowledge, there were dreams. He could feel the presence of those who had passed through these same sands long ago, the great pharaohs, the wise scribes, and the humble travelers. Their spirits were still here, in the whisper of the wind, in the flow of time. As Mini slowly opened his eyes, the first rays of the sun touched the desert once more. The golden light seemed to fill the very air around him, and he knew with a certainty that the journey had led him to a place of deep understanding. The desert was alive, not just with the beauty of the land, but with the memories of those who had come before. A great peace settled over him as he stood, knowing that time itself was both a river and a circle, forever flowing, forever returning. And with each step he took, he was a part of it, a traveler along the path of the gods.